Hello and welcome to Respect the Crit. I'm Ian Duncan, your host and GM for our first campaign. I just wanted to jump in here at the beginning with a quick introduction so you'll know what to expect from us and the podcast. Firstly, thank you for downloading, taking a listen, and engaging with our show. We are an inclusive, actual play tabletop RPG podcast about making bold choices, building interesting characters, and cinematic roleplay. The games we're playing are going to be campaign focused, so longer story arcs with a definitive conclusion. We don't know exactly when they're going to end, but the idea is to create a complete and hopefully satisfying narrative so that we can explore new concepts, new genres, and experience all that the tabletop RPG hobby has to offer. The first campaign that we're going to be playing is one of my favorite game systems and settings, and that is the Star Wars RPG by Fantasy Flight Games. We're going to be incorporating ideas from Star Wars canon, from legends, from RPG books, comics, and all kinds of sources to truly make this our Star Wars universe. The first 2 episodes will be available immediately, with another coming out the following week. After that, we'll be on a bi-weekly release schedule so that we can continue to produce the show with a high level of quality and care. We are very excited to be doing this show, and we hope that you enjoy our first campaign, Empire's Edge, set in the Star Wars universe. Thank you again for listening, and now let's get into the game. Our story begins as any good Star Wars story does. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Episode 1, Empire's Edge. It is a period of uncertainty and fear. The Clone Wars are over, the Jedi are destroyed, and the newly formed Galactic Empire controls the galaxy through oppression and tyranny. Planets and people are mined for their resources to support the Empire's mighty military and covert projects. Opportunists and criminals thrive, taking advantage of others' desperation. Those with few options flee to build new lives at the dangerous fringes of the galaxy. In this dark era, the lone droid LO-RNA returns with their recently deceased master to the planet Bothawui, homeworld of the Bothan species and their infamous espionage network. Bound by a somber duty to their late master, the droid LO is compelled to take on one final task.
Pans down from a field of stars onto a luminous world. Bothawui, the cosmopolitan planet of semi-independent Bothan space. We cut in closer, now down to planet, Bothawui's capital city rising from a verdant valley on the planet's surface. A city of politicos, diplomats, and the business savvy of the new Galactic Empire. An impressive skyline of Bothan prestige reaches to the sky, built on the wealth of information, secrets, and spies. Closer still, our camera arcs down into the tiers of a spaceport landing pad, the business and traffic of the city all around in dimensions of activity. Standing on the pad is a regal-looking Bothan, dressed in traditional robes of his clan affiliation, presenting a box of modest design to the focus of our frame. A droid. Almost wholly a protocol droid, but an amalgamation of different droid parts. Backdrop behind them is this well-worn YT-2400 freighter. It looks like it's seen a little action, but is not a heap of junk or anything like that, certainly. And we sort of focus on this box here, just sort of an unassuming box, and it's handed to this droid, and in sort of a soft voice, almost as if there's a purr underneath, this Bothan hands over this box and says, "My condolences. It is a true loss." And the camera pans up onto this protocol droid, and Jamie, please in detail describe to us who this is and what they look like.
So this is a modified LOM protocol droid, or LO-RNA, LO for short. Very sort of human-like in nature of their body. They have 2 arms, 2 legs, a little tall in comparison to, say, a Bothan, and would have not like a moving mouth, maybe like a light that sort of like lights as they're speaking.
Is it a flashy thing, or is it like a Cylon ego, like continuously going across?
I kind of like that, but I pictured it like flashy, but I kind of like the back and forth motion. So like maybe a back and forth flash.
Oh, what about this? Maybe it's the waveform.
Yes, the waveform. Yeah. That's what it is. Like a waveform mouth
Just
as
a
they
walking,
speak.
Winamp player.
Yes.
LO is going to be holding this box. What is this Bothan's name? Because I would assume that they would know the name of the person they're speaking to.
You do. You know this Bothan. The name of this Bothan is Kai Te. And the reason why you know them is because he is part of the clan of Borsk Tute as well. He's not immediate family, but he's part of their like clan
inner
structure.
Circle.
Yeah, and this is sort of like someone who deals with clan affairs and stuff like that. Obviously for events like this, passings and funerals and adjudications of wills and last rites.
So I suppose Ella would hold on to this box and agree with Kai Te and just say, yes, it was a loss for all of us.
Truly, Borsk was a great member of our clan. You traveled many places with him, yes?
That is true. We went on many a mission together.
He seemed to have a fondness for you.
I love it so much. I'm like distracted by the timbre of your voice. I was able to learn many things from Borsk, and I believe that he also learned from me as well. We made a great team.
He seemed to have trusted you quite a great deal.
Yes, and I hope to make him proud. We
sort of like see Elo in this environment, in this city, and it's a beautiful place, I think. But I need a detail from you. Like, what is? I think Elo like looks out maybe across this thing as she's like holding this box. When you come back here, what is it that you are so happy to see? Like, what is it that makes you feel like this is essentially you're from here?
I would say that being a droid, they feel more like a Bothan because of the relationship that Elo had with Borsk. I think coming back to Bothawui, it would just be like the sense of clan and community. Like, I'm doing this for the people who would do the same for me.
Can you give me like a physical representation of that, maybe in the city or something? Is there like something that stands out to you that like depicts like a clan ship or something like that when you see you're reminded there's this connection?
Something within the city.
It could be anything. It could even be abstract, like a building, an event maybe, or
maybe, yeah, I would say maybe an event. Maybe there's like an annual sort of thing that they do to sort of celebrate all of their success for the upcoming year that had been used many times by Borsk and Elo as sort of like while this thing is going on, this is a great opportunity for us to do this other thing that no one will notice because we're all celebrating, but it's going to be the best for the clan, you know?
So there's like some kind of like city festival going on here. In the city here, there's these decorations, and I feel like there's a contrast here because there's a celebration going on in this whole city, and the reason why Elo is here is because a friend is dead. Yeah. A friend is passed. So there's like maybe a mourning going on,
right,
but like in the foreground of this backdrop of like elation and like joy. Mm-hmm. So maybe, yeah, like Elo looks out onto this thing and sees all this happiness, sort of reminded about this loss.
It's bittersweet.
And I think Kai sort of like asks you, how was the service?
Respectful and short, as he would have wanted.
Ah, yes, of course. So you have this box, and what is this box?
Well, let's see, what would he be giving me?
Yeah. So you open it up.
Maybe it's the stuff from his office, like Borsk's office, because they work together, you know? So it's like files and knickknacks, but maybe there's like a knickknack in there from one of their past adventures that they pull out and decide to hold on to specifically, but the rest is kind of like junk from his office. Something that's broken, but was something that, I want to say something meaningful that maybe like, oh, saved the day, but it could never be used again.
Oh,
you know?
I love that. What?
Like a piece of tin that a bullet hit, but oh, it saved your life, but now it's just a useless piece of garbage.
Oh, yeah. What about this? What if it is like a Tute clan emblem or something?
Yeah.
That he would wear. Yeah, it was either something stuck into get a connection going for the ship or like something like that, and it's just broken now.
Yeah, it's just useless now.
Yeah, but there are still these two pieces of it.
Yeah, I like that.
So in addition to that, there are 2 data pads. One is your boss credentials for this ship, what is the name of the ship?
The Way.
Right, the Way.
The Way.
And this is basically like your license and registration, basically. This is how, if you are a smuggler, and you want to be flying a legal ship, this is the thing you need to have.
These are the books we show.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. The other datapad has a lot of documents on it. There's stuff in there that basically says that it has like your specific serial number or whatever that would be. Like basically you own you, kind of.
Right.
Like you're not a part of an organization or
right.
And then there are some files in there that are for Gur's eyes only. And there's also like a small like hollow recorder in there as well. Kai sort of like gestures to it and says, yes, this is Borsk's final words to you.
Without saying anything and with no look of surprise because I am a droid, but taking a moment, LO is going to pick up this recorder and sort of maybe just like do my Inspector Gadgetry thing and plug in my aux cord so that I can just hear it myself. I don't want to say it out loud. I don't want to hear it out loud.
Tell me what that looks like, because in my head it's like, yeah. And then you're just standing there, like, and the Bothan is like looking eyebrows up, like.
I would think that when one of the LO's fingers just like the top pops off and there's just a plug, that they would plug into this, and then maybe you see like a blinking in their eyes of like, oh, we're on standby while I listen to this recording. It's obvious to anyone looking like, oh, something's processing with this droid.
You see the wave file, but you can't hear it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
There's a message that plays.
Okay.
And in fact, it's like a hologram. I think like a droid interface is very different than what a meat species
shell.
Yeah, but I think I kind of feel like maybe it's even more intimate.
Like we're both in this void of LO's system.
Something like that. Yeah, and obviously this is a message that cannot respond back to you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think like it pulls us into this space, maybe this void, and you see Borsk Tute. This is your former master. And he's an elderly Bothan. He has on his right side a mechanical arm and a mechanical leg, part of the injuries that he's had in his life and that you are well aware of and helped treat in his old age. And he I think he looks stately, like he might even though he's just a smuggler, he might even look at this moment like the captain of maybe some ships of old times past in the old Republic. Is there something like unique about him that you recognize seeing him?
I wouldn't say seeing him, and don't hate me for this, but I kind of picture him with a very recognizable voice, like a very sort of gruff old man-ish voice. And maybe he has a little bit more extra fur.
Oh yeah, like
like big gruffy eyebrows and like maybe a big beard. He's a gruffy old man.
Absolutely, and it's like that sort of thing with animals where they're like the sort of like light patches on their fur get even lighter and bigger around them. Yeah, absolutely.
Like Splinter.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, okay. So you're in this presence basically, and this gentleman with this distinctive voice says, hello,
Yes.
And he laughs and he's like, I'll never get tired of making that joke. He's laughing like a dad laughs at their own stupid joke. And he says, if you are seeing this, then my time in the galaxy has ended. But my family still remains. My son, Gertute, is out there causing as much trouble as I did, no doubt. And you remain, Elo. And he's like looking at you, and you know like this is just staring at a camera, but you position yourself into his eye line, and he continues. I look back fondly on those long journeys across the galaxy, and I hope you do too, despite being shackled to a Bothan whose better days are long behind him. You won't need to indulge an old smuggler, listening to the winded tales of his glory days. You won't need to help heal this failing body or wipe up any embarrassing fluids. But you also won't have to worry because I no longer have any of these burdens either. I am at peace, Elo. And the only thing I will miss are our quiet conversations amongst the stars. You are a loyal co-pilot, a tender nurse, and a good friend. Which is why I am entrusting you with this final charge. My son Gertute is out there becoming his own Bothan. And Elo, I need you to find him and pass on the last of my things to my son. It was he who brought us together so many years ago after all. And for that, I am grateful. You will have my ship to use on your journey, and some credits to make your search easier. Kaisete will take care of the details, and you can find him after returning to Bothawui. I am thankful to have had you in my life. It is time to make your journey your own. Please do this last thing for me, Elo. And may the Force be with you. And then the hologram just like freezes.
Elo is going to be taking all of this in and probably chuckling along with Borsk as he's making these jokes, but in her own sort of droidian way, like,
They're both bad at this.
Yeah. And as soon as it's over, we'll take another moment and just, I don't know if we're in like a void that is actually Elo's system. I am gonna assume that I have Alexa capabilities, and
okay.
We'll just say
you can
like,
assume that,
right? Like that's primitive. And we'll just be like, system save file, and then we'll like sort of like come out of it, and their regular eye light will come on, and the audio line will sort of flatten out, and we'll be back there with Kaisete.
And he's just like waiting there. Yeah, he's like checking his watch. He's like, oh, I hope the words were touching.
Yes, thank you so much for this gift.
It is very strange, if you permit me. I do not mean any offense. For a droid to be traveling on their own.
I'm hoping to accumulate a crew.
Ah, I see. For what purpose?
Based on Borsk's last wish, I must find Gur.
Gertute, his son?
Yes. He needs to receive all that Borsk had entitled to him. From father to son.
As are our ways.
And the way will show me the way.
And that's painted on the side. He's like stroking his big snoot. And he's like, but Gur is part of the spy network. Finding him will be rather difficult.
Yes. And any information you may have to his whereabouts would be greatly appreciated.
And I myself do not have any information on his whereabouts or where to find him. The spy network is vast and intricate. But I might know someone.
Are they located within the city?
I believe so, yes. We have not formally met, but we have been in communication. He is a dog.
A dog? Just kidding.
Yes. Bothans and dogs. No, he is a dog. They have the arms for legs and legs for arms from Alistair.
I would appreciate meeting this Doug.
I can set that up for you. You can meet at this location. And he, pulls out a data pad and types some stuff, and it, shows up. And I need... Okay, I'll give you my bad pitch, but I need, a bar or something, or, a cantina where this would happen that's cat-themed. And I was thinking the litter box, but...
I love it.
Okay.
It's where all of the slimiest. It's the worst bar in town.
Yeah, just by the name, you kind of guess. But you see this come up on one of the data pads that you have now, and this location, and he's like, "Don't worry, this dog is truly professional. I know he is looking for a way off of Bothawui, so you might be able to help each other out. He is a clever slicer, adept at covering his tracks. He works as a faceless entity, anonymous. He is like a ghost, unseen." And I think we cut to, we do a diagonal wipe.
Yes.
And we see a hologram of a Doug, and the camera, pulls out, and we realize it's a bounty. It's got this Doug's face, and underneath it's 5,000 credits, disintegration optional. And then we cut around 180 right around, and we see the Doug whose face is depicted in this hollow.
He's gonna look at the poster as the camera pans and then flips. So the hollow poster's out of focus, but he's in focus now. That's not even what I fucking look like.
Alex, please give us a description of who this Doug is.
This Doug is called Bigax Botano. Oh, everyone's familiar with Sebulba, but he's more of a darker shade than Sebulba. So Sebulba's a light beige, almost a darker beige. This guy's more of almost black, a charcoal skin with some patches of gray every now and then, on his face. We have acne, those old acne scars. He'll have gray patches around. So he's wearing instead of a vest, like a black tunic with some red trim. It's I would say it's formal Imperial wear.
I was gonna say that sounds like Imperial colors,
but it's slightly faded. He hasn't used the right type of detergent to wash it in quite some time.
Left it in the sun too long.
Yeah.
There's a little medallion or those little emblems on the side for the ISB.
Oh, okay.
So he's wearing it to basically, so people don't look at him. So it's an Imperial officer or something along those lines. There's one red trim down here for the zippers, and it's pretty easy to take off clothes because their torso's not that big. He doesn't wear any boots, but he does have these Imperial gloves on the hands that are not touching the floor. Every now and then, though, one the gloves will kind of be a little loose because they're not his. He definitely stole these from somebody's locker.
Oh, I like that.
But the clothes are his, but the gloves are not his. He's carrying a bag, a rucksack, or something large enough that it looks almost like a keyboard, like a Casio keyboard, but inside it's a deck. It's a slicer deck. So people will assume he is an ISB officer or some sort of technician. He's got a little utility belt with some pockets and little peripheral holsters. I don't believe I have any weaponry.
I don't think you do either.
I don't have any gun. Yeah, so that's the only thing that's off about him. He doesn't have a blaster.
Well, you know what you can do. We do have these light side points on the table.
I think I'm gonna keep them for later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just offering.
He'll look around very quickly and continue walking to wherever it is he was going. I assume he got his message from Kai.
Right.
Kai.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say probably I think you get a notification on your slicer gear.
Yeah.
Pretty much all it says is found a way to get off planet, meet at the litter box.
He'll look at it and he's litter box. Type it in, the data pad pops up. It's a local map, but it's a I would say it's a more enhanced version of the map. The only thing that's different about it is it actually gives you like topology. This is a couple feet off the ground here because Dougs are pretty dexterous. So he's always thinking about, well, what's the quickest route out of somewhere? And it's always up. And so he'll look at the map and say, okay, looking at it really quickly, not that far, I can make it. Kind of straightens up a little bit, closes the data pad.
That's so cool. He's like reading the exits out of that.
Yeah. He's very paranoid right now. It's only been, I would say it's been like 9 months since the departure.
Yeah.
And a month since leaving that space station. So he'll begin walking at a normal pace. Every now and then just kind of analyzing guards on the streets because Bothawui is definitely an Imperial occupation.
Oh yeah, there is an Imperial presence here. It's not crazy, but you'll see stormtroopers, you'll see IS there is ISB in the city. Yeah, absolutely.
So I would say because he has the uniform on, he believes he is slightly disguised because there are every now and then different, I would say, if they have the similar program here in Bothawui with natives using the code or like learning Imperial technologies, they would pay him no mind unless there's something different about it.
I think because Bothawui has its independence, like they probably don't have the kind of program that they had on your thing. But I think your notion to try and blend in this way is, well, let's roll. Let's do a roll for it.
I just waited for you to say it.
Yeah. You're gonna want to roll your
it's gonna be bad.
Stealth.
Yep.
And
Oh no.
let's just make
I'm
this.
trained slightly in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a career skill.
I think this is an easy difficulty, and
Especially with the festival going on.
oh yes,
Thank you, Jamie.
yes.
Right? Everyone's distracted by all
Can
the
I get a yellow
partying.
for that one? Can I upgrade it to one of my?
You will. I think you can add a blue die.
Sweet. That's not as good, but it's
It's so
something.
we pull away from this poster that doesn't really look anything like
the photos. It's like photoshopped up the ass. Like it's super manicured.
And you walk into the crowd. There's a lot of people here because it's a festival, and there's a lot more like foot traffic. But yeah, you just kind of like walk into this and go ahead and roll.
I need to know what I'm rolling against.
One purple die, one difficulty die. Easy difficulty.
I can reduce it down to a black, right?
Can you?
Yeah. I have the. Oh, that's only for.
That's for your computers.
There's nothing computer about walking in the streets.
No,
Alex.
nothing. Yeah.
Okay, so 4 successes, 1 advantage, 1 disadvantage. So no advantage, just 4 successes.
Okay.
Super blended.
What's that success? What do you think that success is?
So the parade's happening, and BGAX forgot about it. You know, I would say he's only been on this role for a couple of weeks. And so he's walking through the parade, and at one point, he has to make like a right turn on one of the district, like a block to go to another district. And he sees an Imperial checkpoint, right, on one of these little bridges, right? And it's like a makeshift one. They're just setting up to barricade for the parade. He's like, fuck. Straightens up a little bit, walks by, gives the 3 stormtroopers there a nod, and one of them's like, good day, sir. Yeah, that was really easy. Kind of does the little chin rub, and I'll say, as they say good day and he walks by, he'll see like 2 Bothans kind of get in an altercation, and the stormtrooper like, come on, let's check it out, and they'll head over there, and he's like, oh, okay, so it's like, if I need to run, they'll be busy.
Stormtroopers go off, sort of like break up what could have been a fight, and just sort of like settle down the rabble. And
I'm already by, but now it's like I can disappear even further. Like I can make an extra cut or an extra turn down these streets if I need to lose them.
I like this too, and I'm glad you brought it up. Paranoia is what you've put on it.
Yeah.
Like you've managed to like lay low, but I get the feeling that like the time is kind of up in Bothawui. It's like if you don't keep moving, you die.
Yeah,
basically.
I'll get stuck for sure.
Yeah. So there's like this healthy paranoia that you've been feeling ever since getting off of that space station. So I want you to make me a vigilance check.
One of my bad ones. Which is funny because I'm on the run constantly. Oh, what am I rolling against? I'm sorry. I always forget.
Let's call it average. So 2 purple, and I'm going to flip a dark side point and upgrade that
snap.
to a red. So a red and a purple.
Holy balls. Oh, okay. So 2 advantage, 2 disadvantage, and 1 success.
You have a healthy amount of paranoia, and that's what's kept you alive.
Okay.
There's definitely someone following you.
Wonderful. How do I know this?
I think it's one of those like cinematic things where like you go to like look in the crowd, like just do a check, like make sure, and the angle we cut to is like people are passing left and right across the street, and there's this fight happening in the background, and there's just something with a helmet. It's like looking in the
past
right
everybody.
at you, like past everyone, and you're like, what is that? And then it's gone. Like then people pass by and like no one's there.
Yeah, so BX gets a glimpse of that when he just does like a cursory glance over his shoulder, looks at the crowd, sees that, kind of begins hopping a little bit. Like it's the Doug quick walk. So Bulba does it when he grabs Jar Jar's tongue. He runs over to him, does it.
Oh,
but it's like he like does a little hop, so he'll do that. The map will give him a little ping, like, hey, you're here, right? Like that, like if your iPhone gives you the vibrate, the data pad will ping. So he'll quickly cut into this. I'm assuming it's like it's not a real door, it's an opening with one of those like sensors, and it kind of goes off, but ding, gets a little bing to whoever's in the litter box. I'm assuming is what we're calling it.
Yeah, that's what we're calling it now.
So he goes in and kind of really quickly scopes out the room, and I'll look for a booth that faces the corner, or that's in the corner that faces the front door.
You find the point of egress, the most main point of egress that you can get eyes on. Okay, cool.
I'll take a seat, and if I can, have the data pad, if it works, scan the building, like what are the ways out? Because I'm assuming this is an aftermarket data pad as much as it can. It's like an Android phone that's like unlocked, right? And it's running like Super Nintendo games on it and all kinds of shit.
Yes, it totally is.
So he's like he's modified this as best as he could.
Yeah.
With what he's been given, which isn't a lot, but it's enough to give him like a slight edge.
I want you to do a computer check.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's 2 yellows and 1 green.
We'll call this an average
So 2 purples
computer
again?
check. Yeah.
You got it, boss. Triumph, success, disadvantage.
Yeah, so you succeed. You're able to get a readout of this building. Tell us what that looks like. In fact, I want you to tell me where the exits are in this establishment.
So there's the front door where I came in from, right? There is a balcony level to this bar.
Oh,
And
fancy for the litter box.
Right?
And usually it's reserved for the more higher class clientele. As high class as one can get in scum and villainy. And up there's like a side door that takes you to like a rooftop paddock or some kind of like balcony, maybe 5 to 10 feet away from another balcony or another building nearby. Then there's the back entrance, and then there's I would say like a side door for cargo and deliveries.
Okay, gotcha.
So total of 4 doors, 2 of which are safe exits, the cargo bay and the back door, and then the rooftop door is not a safe exit. That's a very unsafe exit, but it's an exit nonetheless, and the front door. So the data pad gives me the readout.
What does it smell like in the litter box?
That's a good question.
I feel like that needs
Probably
to
smells
be
like shit.
canon. Whatever.
It smells like every bar at 3:45 a.m.
You know what? If this is like a cat theme, it should definitely have a fishy.
Oof.
You know, like that's all they
yeah.
serve is like sardines.
Yeah, it's like salty and it's got that.
And grimy. Yeah.
Mixed with alcohol.
Yes.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
So
Fish
And it's like
booze.
smoky. It's like
Yeah.
smoky
Yeah.
in there.
BX, after the data pad gets the data for him or gets the map and he sees the outline and he sees the exits, he's gonna. I hate Bothans. Like he'll look at the cup on the table he's at and just like, it's glass, but it's like grime and there's little rocks in the bottom. Like,
Oh yeah. There's something floating in there. That is, yeah.
And I bet there's fur everywhere. Like on all of
All
the
the seats,
furniture,
yeah.
all of the floor.
it's funny because like I see pictures of Bothans on Google Images. I'm like, they look so clean.
There's an eclectic group of species. It's mostly Bothans, and they're like playing sabak up on the balcony, and they're like drinking and laughing in this bar, and everyone seems to be acting like the smell is totally fine.
Like it's nothing.
Yeah. The bar person comes out, human, man, just like, can I get you?
Water will be fine
Just the water then?
for now.
Great.
Is water free?
Your water's free.
Okay.
I think Bothawui is a very well-endowed planet where
Okay.
they don't have the kind of rules that some of our smaller establishments here in real life have.
Yeah. This is not Tatooine.
Water's the premium.
And he's just like, this fucking guy.
This guy gets the job.
Yeah, he like goes behind the bar and he comes back and like sets down a glass and he's just like staring at you the whole time. Got a pitcher, like pouring this clear liquid, and it's just like like he's not even looking. It's just like splashing out onto the table everywhere. Stops, and then he like takes a little cube and just plunk, and sets a napkin down.
Yeah, that's the coaster, right?
Yeah.
Thanks. My back is against like the booth, part of the booth that's facing the back door, and then I'm looking at the front door. So I'm gonna quickly try and see if I can hack into a nearby surveillance camera or anything that has network ability nearby. So like I'll take out my deck. So it just looks like an Imperial officer doing work, I would assume. I'll bust out the deck, turn it on, whatever, however they connect to the network.
Yeah.
And then he'll start like admin access.
Okay, cool. I want to know what you plug into, because you got to plug into something.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So
what would that be?
I'm gonna flip a light side.
Oh, okay.
Point.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say that the booth right next to the booth is like the music system, right?
Okay.
And like this, it's pulling music from somewhere. So like, I'm looking around, looking left, and then boop, just plug it into the side. So basically what an R2 unit would do, I have to do by hand.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. And this is like a local network that is
for the building, or
that's got this music, at least the database of this music, and you're using that as okay, cool. I want you to first make for me a simple computer check just to access.
3 successes, 1 advantage.
So you can take that advantage and move it, or you can use that forward into something else if you want.
Yeah, I'll move it to the next one.
You're trying to like get into this network piggybacked onto something else. So you're like slicing in and moving through this computer stuff. Make me a hard computer check. And this is...
I am hacking.
You are slicing, so...
I'm going to downgrade.
You're going to turn it up. Yeah, that'll just be 2.
2 purple?
Difficulty purple, yeah. And I think we're doing this right.
I mean,
figure it out later.
It
feels fine to me.
If anything, it feels challenging for me, and I'm supposed to be good at the computers.
You're supposed to be good. You're great. You're the best.
So I'll carry an advantage over into this roll, right?
You can add a blue die to the next allied active.
I don't have any allies.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's fine.
But you can like notice something important about this that we'll get to when you make.
Sure.
it.
Okay. Triumph, success, 2 disadvantage. So here, go ahead. Give me what kind of poison have I unlocked here?
Well, I know what the disadvantages are. Considering this is a triumph and this is a crit, and we got to respect the crit. I want to know what you are accessing. You said security cameras, but you feel free to tell me.
It's like once BGAX gets in, it's like super easy. He can't control himself. Impulse often gets the better of him. So he's in, opening different files or looking at different systems. He sees the fire control systems. He sees the temperature systems, lighting, the music, of course, the one he came in on. And then he sees the local surveillance systems. If there are any cameras looking at the exterior of the building or the docking where the cargo vehicles come in, he's thinking, okay, if there's a vehicle there.
There's a vehicle there.
Okay. So he's like, okay, and he's like tagging it, looking at the plates to like see who owns it, like what type of person owns this vehicle. Am I gonna get in trouble if I steal this, basically? But he's not paying attention to it. It's like a secondary thing. Like it's gonna take it. Whoever it belongs to, consequence.
Figure that out later.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think what it is, you tell me if this sounds cool. It's not in the cargo bay, which you have camera access to. Mm-hmm. You have a camera on each of these exits, I think.
Except for the balcony, because
except for the balcony. And in the alley, there are like swoop bikes that are there.
He would prefer swoop bikes.
Like out there, yeah. So there's swoop bikes out there, yeah.
Perfect.
And there's probably like some Bothans, like just like chilling outside.
Smoking death sticks.
Yeah. yeah, definitely.
Look at my swoop.
Yeah, my swoop. Oh, is that custom, bro? Oh, that's great. Yeah, so that's what's going on. Okay, cool. Okay.
Give me my disadvantages.
Yeah, well, that's coming up.
Jamie got a good start. I got like a hunted start. She got a beautiful like funeral
Gifts
and a ship.
You get another notification. on their way.
I have to wait. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Fuck, I gotta wait here.
And then you see on the balcony someone coming past the sabak plane.
Inside, right?
Inside.
They're already in here.
There's no security camera on the balcony entrance.
So just the inside.
Yeah.
Like basically above me.
Yeah. This figure seems to separate from the smoke and haze of the litterbox atmosphere, sliding out of the shadows of the bar's balcony. Neon lights of some cheap advertisement slash vivid color against the dark armor covering their body. Electric blue and pink neon glare off the reflection of a glossy visored helmet that obstructs their face. It is unmistakably the figure from the crowd, the shadow that has been following you for who knows how long. And even though their eyes are obscured behind a dark screen, there is no mistake that this looming figure is staring right at you.
I'll quickly minimize my tabs. Click, click.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Respect the Crit, Empire's Edge. If you like what you heard, please consider supporting us by giving us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. It's a simple thing that will really help us grow the show, and we love to read your feedback. For more information about the show, visit @RespectTheCrit on Twitter and Instagram. Bigax is played by Alex Herrera, who you can find on Twitter @AE Herrera or on his Twitch channel, WadeWolf10. LO is played by Jamie Lee Bonez, who you can find on Instagram @jamielee.bones. I'm Ian Duncan, your GM and MC, and you can find me @idunks on Twitter and Instagram. The original music featured in the show is provided with permissions by a variety of artists and are linked in the show notes. Please support them by visiting their platforms to check out more of their work and tell them how much you like the show. The Star Wars role-playing system and books are published by Fantasy Flight Games. And remember, whatever the system, whether it's a miss or a hit, you always gotta respect the crit. Thank you very much, and may the Force be with you. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Nice.
That was the first note.
Yeah.
Dun, dun.
I literally thought you played something. And I was like, why would you play that? And I just added it afterwards.